Today we are going to be watching the SCP Foundation explained by the infographics show. I heard a lot about SCP stuff. I never knew what exactly it was about. I know it has to do with like creatures. Is it like a TV show? I don't know, like a book or something? I don't know. So I want to learn more about it. I tried looking it up for like books and stuff, but like anyways, let us get started. Wait, before we get started, please support the original video. Link will be in the description, and if you like this video or like my channel, feel free to like and subscribe and share it and share with your mom and share with your mom's friends, and make sure to tell everyone how cool I am, because I'm very cool.
He's a really cool guy.
Anyways, yeah.
In an undisclosed location, a woman is being tortured. The methods of her
Dog,
abuse
that's
are
crazy.
too horrific to
Stop
be
torturing
described,
women.
and her torturers are death row prison inmates, the absolute worst of the worst. This woman's torture is constant, and procedures are put into place to make sure she never becomes accustomed to the pain. If ever her torturers express sympathy toward their victim, their superiors will have them removed and replaced.
They'll have them
try
killed
to rescue her or
and
put her out of
dissected.
her misery, they themselves will be shot without hesitation. The woman being tortured is known only as SCP-231-7, and worst of all, she's pregnant. The cause of her eternal torture, the SCP Foundation. And you'll be
Isn't
shocked to
being
learn
pregnant
that when all is
torture
said and
enough?
done, these are the good guys. Because if they ever stop their brutal treatment of SCP-231-7, a treatment codenamed Procedure 110 Montauk, she'll give birth to a creature that will destroy the world as we know it.
How did they know though? Like, did she ever give birth and then like a world got destroyed? How do you know? Like that, like how?
This is just
Does
one
he
of
know?
the many examples of the objects and entities under the watchful eyes of the SCP Foundation, a mysterious group that strives to achieve greater good by any means necessary, and we do mean any. What you're about to hear
This guy reminds me of like Cecil from Invincible. Do you want to be a good guy or you want to save the world? To save the world, you sometimes gotta do like some pretty not kosher stuff.
here is above classified, and be warned, what is heard can never be unheard, unless of course the Foundation gets its hands on you. So what is the SCP Foundation? In the most basic sense, the group's mission statement is right there in the SCP acronym. Secure, contain, protect. It's the task of the Foundation to, in their own words, contain anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena. Things that
Imagine if one day you woke up as like a meta-human and then you're now supposed to be stuck in a jail cell for the rest of your life.
don't make sense, things that don't belong, things that simply don't fit in with our perception of reality, and some things that pose an existential threat to all
Clown
human
man,
life. They refer to these
no.
contained anomalies as SCPs,
Oh, plague
each of
doctor,
which is a
bro. Plague doctors are so pretty. I love them. We should bring that back.
Are you sure about that?
accompanied by a number.
We might.
This is a broad umbrella. As
If
an
the
SCP
diseases
can
keep
range
spreading,
from
we
benign or
might.
even actively helpful to downright apocalyptic
age
if
badly.
ever released. Much like the infamous Men in Black often reported by witnesses in connection with alien sightings, the Foundation works in secret to maintain a sense of normalcy at all costs, knowing the chaos it would cause if any of the anomalies they're harboring ever become public. Take for example SCP-500. To the untrained eye, the object is just an unassuming prescription pill bottle, the kind you'd see in medicine cabinets the world over. But the pills in this humble bottle are unlike any earthly medicine. They can cure quite literally anything, from cancer to a cold within 2 hours. But at the time of this writing, there are only 47 pills left.
47.
The power to cure all disease, a privilege denied to even the richest and most powerful in society.
Who funds this though? You need money to be able to do this type of operation. So who funds it? And it can't be a government, because obviously the government would really want those pills. They try to take it for themselves, saying like, we want the leaders of this nation to be able to live longer.
Veritable holy grail. Can you imagine the violence and horror that would break out in trying to obtain them if their existence ever became public?
The SCP Foundation works in secret because the collective mind of society just couldn't handle the knowledge of what they're dealing with. They work.
With the approval of all world governments, effectively
How do you
placing
get
them above
fired for this
international
thing?
law.
Essentially, there is no human authority above the Foundation, because without the Foundation's work, there would be no humans left to govern. To understand the basic operations of this above top secret organization,
We need to delve a little further into that secure, contain, protect slogan. Secure
Who are the
refers to
higher-ups in
Foundation's
this whole
practice of constant
operation?
global
Like,
surveillance and observation.
how you know
in order
they're
to
not being
detect and intercept
corrupted
anomalous
from the
activity
inside
before
out,
it can
you know?
interact with civilians or rival groups. Contain involves preventing the effects or influence of the anomaly from spreading by either, in their own words, relocating, concealing, or dismantling such anomalies, or by suppressing or preventing public dissemination of knowledge thereof. The latter can involve practices such as using advanced chemical compounds or technologies to delete and then rewrite the memories of infected civilians, or even committing mass murder if necessary to cover their tracks. The SCP Foundation has in the past wiped out entire towns of innocent civilians.
That's
to
kinda
prevent dangerous information about
crazy.
the SCP spreading beyond their control. They can take lives at their own discretion and consider almost any crime to be permissible.
who's the
when
powers
alternative
that
is Armageddon. And
run
finally,
this
protect
thing,
pertains
you
to
know?
all
Operations meant to protect mankind from the SCPs, up to and including neutralizing and destroying them when possible. Some SCPs, such as the infamous SCP-682, a nigh-indestructible genocidal reptilian, have proved to be almost impossible to destroy. Research is ongoing in many cases, as the Foundation explores any and all possible methods of reducing the threat of more dangerous SCPs. In order to help them categorize the thousands of strange and horrifying anomalies under their watch, the Foundation has created a system that organizes the SCPs based on the difficulty of containing them. The first
of the primary object classes is safe, pertaining to SCPs that require little, if any, resources to safely and properly contain. Examples include the previously mentioned SCP-500 pill bottle and SCP-999, a benevolent blob of gelatinous orange
cute.
matter. SCP-999 has a playful, almost dog-like personality. It causes feelings of happiness and euphoria in whoever or whatever it touches.
I can see how that could be very dangerous. What's the point in existing in like painful reality when you could just be happy? Just be in a euphoric state using like this thing.
It's even been used by the Foundation as a pacification tool to reduce aggression in other SCPs.
Oh, they could use other SCPs to like deal with other SCPs. I thought it was like, okay, once they're in the SCPs, like no touching. These things are in a bubble, and if anyone touches the bubble, you'll get like off. They can use. Okay, so that probably makes their jobs a little bit easier. Not a lot, but yeah.
The second primary object class is Euclid, which refers to any anomaly that requires more resources to contain completely or where containment isn't always reliable. This is the broadest SCP class, and the majority of sentient, sapient, or autonomous anomalies fall into this category. A Euclid SCP might be something as huge, sprawling, and bizarre as SCP-3008. This SCP appears to be a kind of anomalous pocket dimension hidden inside an IKEA superstore, which is not only significantly larger on the inside by approximately 10 kilometers, but also contains bizarre, faceless entities which can become hostile under the right conditions.
How can you bring that into the SMP building? If it's already a building, how do you fit a building into a building?
A Euclid SCP can also be something as seemingly innocuous as SCP-294, which appears to the untrained eye to be a standard coffee vending machine.
That looks
However,
good.
unlike any other
I want
coffee
some
machine,
coffee.
the input system on SCP-294 is a QWERTY keyboard. This SCP can manifest any liquid typed in on the keyboard, from standard drinks
Can it make me some
Liquid ass.
I would like some liquid ass, please.
like coffee and beer to more esoteric compounds like sulfuric acid and disease-infected human blood. During extensive tests, one subject requested the perfect drink
Can it make me your mom's pussy juice?
and was given an odorless lavender-colored liquid. After consuming the liquid, the subject went into a state of euphoric shock. The subject later committed suicide, leaving a note which read, "I'm sorry, but at this point everything's just one big letdown."
Why don't you just drink more of the liquid happiness then? If everything's a letdown, just drink more of the liquid.
Sadly, subjects dying during tests is not uncommon. The
That's
SCP
sad.
Foundation essentially has limitless resources,
How does this blonde guy keep being alive when everyone else is like disintegrating?
including access to countless disposable workers and test subjects. The most common of these are so-called D-class personnel, which are death row inmates conscripted for the purposes of often lethal SCP experimentation or containment. The next primary object
Why would you let a criminal near these things? Because if they come near a very powerful CP, and then, I don't know, maybe they sweet talk the SCP into taking over the whole institution. Like, why would you do that?
class is Keter, described by the Foundation as anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. This can either be due to being an extremely volatile and dangerous anomaly or just one that seems to defy known laws of physics or reality, and is thus extremely difficult to understand or contain. The SCP Foundation has a vast number of secret facilities across the globe, and while the Keter class SCPs are not
But who
nearly as
owns
common as
it?
the Euclid class, they consume a great great deal more resources to safely contain. One particularly terrifying Keter-class SCP is SCP-354, colloquially known by the Foundation employees as the Blood Pond. This SCP is a large pool of non-biological red liquid discovered in North Canada.
Is this a reference to Iron Lung? Is it a reference? No, I know, I'm kidding. I think this video came out before Iron Lung, but yeah. I watched it recently, so of course I have to reference
that
it.
Appears to be a kind of interdimensional primordial soup. What makes this SCP particularly hard to contain, as well as extremely frightening, is the fact that hostile entities periodically emerge from the pond.
Like the big fish from Iron Lung.
Containment area. These entities have included a floating black sphere that can fire concentrated beams of deadly radiation, a 15-foot tall reptilian humanoid that seemed immune to gunfire, and a homicidal metallic humanoid nicknamed the Terminator.
The Terminator.
The most highly classified primary object class of all is Thaumium, which consists of SCPs used to contain other SCPs.
This can range from SCP-7000-J, a book of Latin incantations found in dinosaur skin that can summon various other entities, all the way to
SCP-4006, which is the entire state of Massachusetts.
Massachusetts!
These are the most bizarre and esoteric of the anomalies dealt with by the Foundation, but thankfully, they often pose less of an active threat than many of the Euclid or Keter-class SCPs. Finally, as mentioned earlier, sometimes the SCP Foundation deems an anomaly too dangerous to contain and just needs to destroy it entirely. A terrifying example of a
Massachusetts, boy.
The actual structure of the SCP Foundation is surprisingly transparent, with personnel classification levels ranging from Class A to Class E. Class A personnel are considered vital to the strategic operations of the Foundation, and therefore are not allowed to—
Of course, the guy gives himself an A. If anything's gonna go down, he's gonna be protected.
Be in direct contact in any way with any of the SCPs due to potential risks. Class B personnel are vital to local Foundation operations on SCP test sites and are only permitted to be in contact with SCPs deemed to be relatively safe. Class C personnel are field agents that have far more direct contact with the SCPs and often put themselves at great risk.
That would suck to be a Class C.
Personnel, as previously mentioned, are essentially cannon fodder thrown into the
Class
jaws
D
of death
even gets it
to
worse.
discover more about the more dangerous anomalies on the SCP roster. And finally, Class E personnel are personnel that have been already exposed to the potentially dangerous effects of an unknown anomaly. Class E personnel are placed into quarantine until they're deemed fit to return to work or terminated, depending on the results of their observations.
No.
In terms of actual roles in the SCP Foundation, the top of the pyramid are the O5 Council members, Class A personnel who have total clearance and oversee all Foundation operations. Below them are Site Directors, who manage the various physical Foundation facilities.
They're the
across
paperwork
globe,
junkies.
and report back to the O5 Council, ready to strike and suppress an emerging anomaly before any ripples of its existence can reach the wider world.
Are they just like an entity that works like separate from the government? But then how do they get paid? Like that's the main thing that interests me. This whole operation seems like it needs a lot of money to keep going. You can't pay for all of these people to be here without having some hefty money, you know? And also the weapons and the facilities itself need a lot of money to keep running, so who's their benefactor? I want to know.
Even here, we've only really scratched the surface of the SCP Foundation's extensive and frankly mind-boggling global and historical operations. There's plenty of information about the Foundation online, many of which people assume is pure fiction, but wouldn't that be the perfect cover for a real secret organization?
That's true. That's very true.
As the quote says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he doesn't exist. Ultimately, the SCP Foundation is on the side.
I've never heard of
that,
but okay.
Speaking of which, there's another SCP we forgot to mention that's quite literally unspeakable. SCP-2521 is a creature that's made entirely of strange black tendrils that envelop and
So like Cthulhu? Wouldn't that be Cthulhu?
smother the creature's prey. No written records of the creature exist outside of pictograms because it immediately attacks and consumes any information produced about it. This includes speech, as the creature will appear and consume anyone who— oh god, oh no, it's here, here, help me! Ah!
Oh no! Guy died, no! Okay, so that's a good video, and the SMP seems like really interesting. The only thing I'm still questioning is, well, okay, not the only thing. There's a few things. One of the things, obviously, I've been gabbing about this whole video is who pays the facility, obviously. Is it run by a government? Is it outside of the government? Like, what is it? And then two, Is this like a book or is this like a... What is this? Like, is it a book, a movie, a thing? I thought it would say like, oh, this is based off of XYZ author's book, blah, 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 blah. But no, it just went right into it as if it was like a legit thing. Unless if it is a legit thing. Am I gonna get greeted by Cthulhu later tonight? Alright, but yeah, no, that was a really nice video. There were a lot of cool concepts and stuff that if there is a movie, I would like to watch it. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and like my other social medias, and thank you. Bye!